Alright, I'm starting this video with a post recording because I had to go back and test Easton's passive if it even works. This gameplay that you're about to see, I'm telling you right now, if you're simping for Easton and you no matter what I tell you, you think she's amazing, she's great, don't watch this video. You're good. It's sad. I thought that her passive didn't work, because for the majority of my matches I played in this video, I had almost max passive, and I was still getting clapped. So I went on a 4v4 private match with Speedy to test if her passive even works. Yes, her passive works, but what I did was I went to Speedy and I said, Speedy, get your units max ultimate gauge, and I'll get also my units max ultimate gauge, because that should add up to 120% damage reduction for my catastrophe characters, because on paper, what it literally says here is reduces damage taken for the 7 catastrophes allies by 3% for every ultimate move gauge orb in battle. The issue is that it's not as simple as just adding up 3% plus 3% plus 3% every orb. I had 120% damage reduction, and you will see on your screen right now, Easton getting absolutely clapped with 120% damage reduction. That's because there's not actually 120% damage. And right after, Escanor hits Mono. And Mono, of course, takes less damage because type disadvantage, but Mono has so much more defense area stats. So the damage reduction works. Like, there is damage reduction, but it's not as it reads. How I think it works, because like if you just read it like it is, like the people that speak Japanese said this is how it's written, right? You think that it just adds up to 3s, and that's the amount of damage reduction you have, but that's not actually how it works. Unlike, let's say, Margaret's passive, oh not passive, sorry, Margaret's card, where it says you have 40% damage reduction. Boom, that's 40% damage reduction. Because it's each individual orb that has 3%, what actually ends up happening is 3% cuts from the initial damage and then moves on to being cut 3% every single cut. So for each orb, it takes 3% from the initial, but then the initial takes a 3% from, no, sorry, the second number from the initial that got cut 3% gets cut 3%, and so on and so forth. So let's say you're playing 3v3 and all your characters have max ultimate gauge, and for whatever reason the enemy doesn't have any. So we're talking about here you have 45 theoretical percent damage reduction. You're actually getting not that much. You're getting from 25 to 32. The math is a little iffy on that. I'm being generous with that 32 because I'm expecting this to be how it actually is on thinking, but it could even be worse. So her damage reduction sucks. Sucks. It's not how it's advertised. It's not how it reads. Unless the translation was very incorrect, it's not how it reads, and it's pretty misleading, because what people that don't have her, that are watching my videos and want to see how she looks in game, are like, oh, use her in the catastrophe team because you're going to be basically invincible. But that's not right. That is just straight up misleading from her passive. So yeah, throughout this video you're going to see me getting clapped with the Disastrophe team, because the Disastrophe team sucks. Mono is way better with Gringolfer and Margaret because it's a way better team. So we're going to be using that for gear tomorrow for her UR gear showcase. And yeah, enjoy me getting clapped for another video. Alright, so this is where this unit will shine. This is 4v4 PvP, alright? Where there's as much ultimate orbs as possible. And we're using a full catastrophe team. So her passive, of course, reduces the damage taken for the 7 catastrophes allies by 3% for every ultimate move gauge orb in battle. Meaning, theoretically, in 4v4, it's possible. It's possible. It's not gonna happen. It's not plausible, but possible to have over 100% damage reduction in your whole team. It's possible, but not probable. So, yeah, using the full Catastrophe team, this is what I decided to go with. New Mono, of course, her passive only actually works with full Catastrophe team. Valenti, I think, is maybe the best Catastrophe. And Shin for hopeful possible rank ups. Don't know if I need to go first. I'm thinking I might as well double down on the whole tanking premise and go with like resistance food or something, or even HP food. We're gonna go with HP food. All right, it gives you a good amount of CC, and I'm doubling down the tanking. But okay, we'll go for it. So 3% per orb. First, 1-2 turns is not going to be the biggest thing, but starting off, turn 3 and onwards, you're probably going to have a decent amount of damage reduction. It's very, very, very volatile how much damage reduction we're going to have at all times, but this is definitely a bot that hasn't changed his turret routine. But I want to test things first. So and disable her. I'm gonna go for this. Alright. Applied some debuffs, but really they're gonna cleanse, so even if it wasn't about the would they cleanse? I mean, these are very useless debuffs. These are very bad debuffs. Like the D-ranking thing is only useful if it's never useful. Like it wouldn't even do anything unless his cards magically combine right now. It wouldn't even do anything. It legitimately wouldn't even do anything. Okay. Let's disable Margaret. Just for the sake of doing so. The Mono needs to take a few hits before she's fully built up. Do AoE hits count as 4? Is my question. Guess we'll see. It's been so long since I've used Mikasa. I don't actually remember how she actually works. Yes, it does. She's fully built up. I have got a card for her actually. I was gonna say I have got 0 cards for her. Let's go for the Margaret. The one thing is, man, even with 100% crit chance, because of these recent units, okay, 3 out of 5 hits were crits, that's decent. Because of these recent units having so much crit resistance, it's like, does it even matter? It's crazy. Like, crit chance is like a really weird stat right now. Because I feel like a lot of units do just fine with having like 70, but then you have like Mono where she has like 100 and her single target barely crits. I don't know what it is. Man, I can already tell the lack of DPS. I have got 0 Shin cards, by the way. I actually have got 0 Shin cards. The lack of DPS on this team, I can already tell it's really bad. It's just no rank ups. Rank ups have become just too much of a good thing, This is, I think, one reason why Ban isn't as meta as he should be is because there's no rank ups for him. I guess Shin, you can count as a rank up, but you're not gonna run Shin. It's just too much effort for a rank up. You have to attack him 3 times. There's just no viable rank up for Shin. Oh, sorry, for Ban, which really hinders him. Like, even with the Holy Relic, he's still worse. See, damage reduction isn't doing much. We have some characters with like a lot of orbs, and it's just not... I'm still taking a lot of damage. I don't know. I think this is why Ban isn't as mad as he should be. Just lack of rank ups. Man, I'm struggling against this bot. I saw. Okay, so I actually, as soon as the update went out, one of the Japanese YouTubers that pulled Grand Cross posted a video on the Catastrophe team, and he was struggling. He was really struggling. So I was like, oh boy, I can't wait for me to try it. Yeah. No more damage reduction, I guess. Can I kill Tarmi out here? Mono kind of carrying the team. Man, you are so much better in geared than you are in ungeared, Valenti. You really are. I don't know. See, the thing is with Mono as well. I made my video, and some people are like, "Oh man, you need to use her in the full Catastrophe team. That's when she's gonna be good." But I don't think people understand math. I used her with like 50% damage increase theoretically. You know, if I got the level 3, and plus 35%. Like that's the peak scenario I'm going for. Going for the max golfer passive and level 3 with Margaret. That's way more damage than what Mono could potentially do in the 7 Disaster team. Way more. What I posted on my first video on Mono is way more damage than what she could potentially do here on the I'm taking way too long. On the Catastrophe team. Way more. Alright, let's move on. Okay, next up I want to try an ult rush approach. Only problem is that green golfers are our biggest enemy because we have no cleanse. Because we're not using Margaret. So that's not good. But guess we'll see. Guess we'll see. Goddesses. Nice matchup. Using not CC food if he's a whale. CC food if he's not a whale. It's basically how I'm gonna summarize his ult engagement there. So by ult rushing, turn 1 here, I already have 8 ultimate gauge, which 8 times 3 is 24%. Yes, 24% damage reduction. That's nice. 24% flat damage reduction is nice. Is it working though? You see how much damage I took? That was a level 1 turn 1 from Margaret. That should do no damage. Like, yeah, I love Margaret. Absolutely love Margaret. But her turn 1 card doesn't do damage. It just doesn't. Other cards, I would want to wait for a second card to combine. Nice 600 damage on those hits there. Good thing is that he has no taunt, so I can just take off ultimate gauge at will. As long as I can break the shield. Okay. Why don't you go for her ultimate, not gonna lie. Oh my god, my team is doing no damage. Like, actually nothing. What? He doesn't even have damage reduction. And I'm just struggling to break a level 1 guy's... Was it level 1? It was level 2. Struggling to break a guy's Liz shield. That is pathetic. Wow. Actually pathetic. Do I have damage reduction? Shin almost died. Exaggerating, but like, I'm being serious. Like, do I have damage? Do I actually have damage reduction? Or is this a lie? I'm a little concerned. Maybe I should use green, the other green Valency. Oh no. I don't know. I really wanted it to be positive. I really want to. I disabled Tarmiel in the hopes that he wouldn't have a cleanse, but Mono tanked pretty well though. Damn. The other one's not so much. Got my ults. I have the damage reduction. I think. Like there's no like this damage reduction is not the same as Margaret's damage reduction. It's not. Margaret's damage reduction must work in a different way. Like I think that like passive damage reduction must not actually sum up the way we think it does. There's no way. I think it's 3% of 3% of 3% every time it increases. There's no way. It's just like I'm taking way too much damage for the amount of damage reduction I have right now. Way too much. Theoretically, right here, I should have had... We had 5 characters with max ultimate gauge. 5. We had 5 characters with max ultimate gauge at this moment in time, plus like 1 from CATASTROPHEs. And that adds up to 75% damage reduction. If I'm doing the math correctly. 75% damage reduction. When you have Margaret's 40%, you are a god. You are a god. My ultimates barely do damage. When you have Margaret's damage, you are a god. You are literally a god. If you have Margaret's level 3 card, you cannot take damage. Right here, we have theoretical 75% damage reduction. And I still got clapped. I don't think her passive works the way we think it does. There's no way. I'm gonna play one more. There's no way. Like, you've seen Margaret. Like, when she pops in that damage reduction, you're safe. Unless the enemy... It's 40, right? It's 40% damage. Unless the enemy, like, pops a Margaret level 3 to increase damage by 50, he's not doing damage to you. And when he does, he's doing, like, a little bit of damage. He's doing what he should have done if he didn't have the damage reduction, right? It's insane to me that the passive does not work the way we think it does. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Just... I need to go back and see how much damage my unit took. I'm just... I can't say I'm disappointed because I was like I was expecting to be a little good, but I knew I was gonna be disappointed. She has damage defense lowered by Ludocio. It's not that big of a deal. They should take so much damage here. It's fair enough, I guess. Like, I'm increasing my orbs to see if I can tank better. Like, so many orbs in the field. And I still get so much damage. No, it doesn't work. Her passive doesn't work. Her passive just doesn't work. Like, I know, you know, it's Ludo and everything, but he has no Death Pierce. Like, I've used the one, trust me. I've used the one. That's just his normal damage. Like, without any damage reduction, that's just his normal damage. And I can barely do damage. It's horrible, 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 horrible. They're trying to make a catastrophe team, but like, if they're gonna make like a team like this, it's just not gonna work, man.